G'day everyone, it's Justin and
Scott.
two dads again from Broome, Australia. And we're doing something a little bit different today, mate.
We are mixing it up,
We're
mate.
mixing it up,
Yep.
I mean, normally it's all about fun and family-friendly cars, isn't it? New cars?
Yes,
you know,
that's correct.
For people that probably in our era used to have a fun car when they were younger, decided that they had to get something sensible because they had kids or family or something like that, had to get the SUV. But now thinking about getting back into something fun, but it had to be family friendly.
Yep, it still does a bit of the practical stuff, but it's got a real element on the fun as well.
That's
Yep.
right. And I know that we've been looking at lots of new cars, haven't we?
Yes.
Like, fun and family friendly new cars. But I thought, you know what, let's have a look. Say if you're a person that, the Ministry of Finance has put a strict budget on you and you still want to get something fun and family friendly.
Yes.
What can you do?
Yep. And I think I've got plenty of mates that are in exactly that situation, right?
Yeah.
So it started us thinking, didn't it?
Yeah. And you know what? Today, I thought we'd actually go for a drive in my $10,000 BMW E46 touring station wagon.
Yes. And we're in a bit of luxury today, mate. That's how it feels to me.
Now, mate, I'll give you a bit of background about this car. I picked up this car about 18 months ago. I wasn't actually looking for one. It was just one of those things, I guess, like when you're late at night, you're looking at car sales or the car classifieds as you do.
Yep, I'm a bit guilty of that, yes.
Yeah, this thing just popped up. It was actually a trade-in at a Sydney Subaru dealer, and it was so new on car sales that there wasn't even a photo up on it. But the thing that got me about it, 64,000 Ks, that's all it had on it.
Yes.
And I don't know if you know, but E46 BMWs probably are the last of the analog BMWs, I suppose. Like after this model, which was around about, when did these come out? 97, 98, and they finished about 2005. They went to the models that had iDrive and all the electronic stuff in them.
Yes.
But this particular one is a touring. It's the German speak for station wagon. And they're pretty rare, actually. They came in coupe, sedan, convertible, but the station wagon was pretty rare in Australia.
Okay.
It came in one model. It was a 320 wagon, which had a 2.2 inline 6-cylinder, 5-speed automatic. They weren't cheap when they were new. This is one of the last ones. This is a 2005 model.
Yeah.
They were around about 75 grand. This one's an
Big
M
bucks.
Sport. Yeah, an M Sport. So it's got all the sporty bits on it too. And then I saw it, and I gave them a call, and they said it was a trade-in. They said we got to do some work on it because it's not in a real good condition, but you can have it for 13 grand, whatever it is. So
Okay.
I dropped into the dealer, had a look at the car, and cosmetically it didn't look really crash hot. There was a lot of scrapes on the bumper and things like that. And
So probably what you'd expect for a car that's been around the city doing normal sort of stuff. A lot of cars of that age, like that are 10 years or so old.
And
they
also
all have
too,
that, right?
the
mostly.
previous owner, I think, had a dog because the thing was just full of dog hair and everything
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
So I put my hat on and sort of hit them pretty hard and said, look, don't fix it. I'm happy to take it, but I'll pay 10 grand for it, something like that. After some umming and ahhing and things like that, they decided, yep, okay, we'll let it go for 10 grand, around 10 grand there. And I picked this lovely 64,000 K BMW up. I unfortunately have probably spent too much money on it. I suppose getting it. It was like a rescue thing for me. It was like it just had. It was just on the cusp of I guess E46s are maybe at the bottom of the depreciation curve. So, but I think this one was worth rescuing. It had low Ks. It was an M Sport wagon. I thought, you know what, it's actually practical too. Like it's an actual wagon. So I thought, you know what, I'll grab it. And as a little project over the last 18 months, I just started chipping away and trying to get it back to.
So I think it's a
good
great
condition.
case in point, right? You found a diamond, but yes, it was a bit rough on the outside, like most cars will be if they're a bit aged.
Yep.
But what are some of the things you did to bring it back to what I think looks like brand new now? Right?
Well, that's
like
the
it's
thing.
come out of the showroom, right? With just 64,000 Ks on the clock.
The old credit card copped a beating, I think, because I was online looking at BMW specialists and things to buy all the bits and that, because it was pretty much just cosmetic. It was all the stuff around it, like the plastic trims and things like that just showed a lot of wear and tear. So for looking at that stuff, I just picked up that stuff and just started putting this car back together. Mechanically, it's really good. I mean, you kind of expect that from a car with only 64,000 Ks. It's got 74 on it now, so I've done 10,000 Ks in 18 months.
Yep.
I'll probably in another video, I'll probably elaborate on what I think is the most important thing you should do if you're going to buy an older car to actually do it, which is find a good mechanic.
Yes.
Yep. Find someone you can trust that knows the vehicle. But we'll talk about that another day. That's all right. But just getting this car was a lot of fun. Getting it back to how it is today, I'm pretty proud of the way that it looks. It just looks.
I got in today, and you've got the
even got the
brand new brochure here.
Brand new brochure.
And I was looking through it, and it's like these cars in here, the photo shots in here, just look like exactly like this car, right?
Yeah.
It's quite a time warp in itself. It's a bit strange.
I mean, you can probably feel. I mean, you've had a drive of it too. You can probably. It does not feel the age. Like this thing's almost 15 years old now, and I don't think it's a classic, so to speak. But you might want to call it a modern classic, or something that might appreciate and value later on.
Yes.
And it still drives like a lovely. It feels like a 5-year-old BMW, not a 15-year-old BMW. And some of the things I love about this car, like I had one years ago, like back. I think it was 2003, 2004 or something like that. I had an E46 sedan, and I just loved the solidness of the car. I actually got rid of it and bought the next model, the E90 BMW, and it was a bit of a regret. I thought that the E46 was a better car. Okay. And reason being is that, like, look, these cars have still got like hydraulic power steering. It just feels solid. I mean, you notice the way when the door's shut and everything. It's just.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why I started with saying it is a luxury car, right? Like, it's still a luxury car, right?
It's got leather,
the drive positions, the power steering, the engine, right? Like, it's not something. If you go spend $20,000, say, on a new car, you're not going to get this level of refinement, right? Nowhere near it, right? It's going to be plasticky. It's going to not have the same capacity engine.
No.
This is a much more luxurious car.
Yeah. But look, I mean, for everybody out there that's thinking about doing something like this, like getting an older car as a thing, I mean, you got to understand it's going to end up being a project for you as well, because there's always going to be little things that you have to fix up on it, and things of a car this age will start to go wrong, whether it's just preventative maintenance or it's just normal maintenance.
Yes.
You will have to spend a little bit of money on it. I guess the other thing that, in comparison to more modern cars too, is that safety. Like, we always harp on about safety.
Good point.
This car, like, in its day, I guess it was pretty safe. Like, it's got lots of airbags, 2, 3, in the back, everything like that. But compared to a modern car, with autonomous emergency braking, all that kind of stuff, no, it doesn't have all that stuff.
I mean, every year since this car was made, pretty much they're adding new safety stuff. It's starting to become standard in every car we review. So,
that's
good
right.
point. Yep.
Now, the other thing I noticed about the car too, like, if you start using it like a daily driver, it's a lovely engine, a 2.2 6-cylinder syrupy smooth BMW engine.
Yes.
Love it. 5-speed automatic. Fuel consumption, not all that good compared to modern cars and that. So, and with petrol prices these days and that, it can hurt the wallet a little bit. But
having said that, second cars don't always do a lot of Ks, right?
No, that's true.
They are the option car, right? You take the other car for the first choice, and you just do the big family holidays get done in that, and all that sort of stuff. This is the second choice.
Yeah. But I've noticed, like, because it is a wagon too, the practicality is great. Like, it's a car that you can, take stuff with the kids and not have any worry about it. It will fit 5 in comfort. It's not a big wagon. It's a 3 Series wagon.
Yes.
It's nice. I guess the only thing being an M Sport as well, you can probably feel it now. The suspension is a little bit firm on some of the bumpier roads.
I love that, but yes.
Yeah.
But that's right.
No,
yeah,
it's all right.
But that's a choice, right? You're buying a second-hand car. You actually get to drive it first,
Yeah.
and you've got a bigger choice in some ways, right?
Yeah.
There's a huge choice out there.
Yeah, that's right. But I think when you're looking at a car of this era or something, or an older car or something like that, I think it's condition in Ks. That's what you look at, because you can always fix up everything else. You just want to get the basics right, don't you?
Yeah,
I suppose.
So true. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've got an older car as well that you keep in the garage, the Moog and everything like that, and like me, I guess you spend a fair bit of money actually getting it to a point where it's a reliable sort of
correct. And you always know it's not going to be quite as reliable as a brand new car.
Yeah.
Probably not going to break down at all in the first 5 years, right? Whereas an older car is likely to do that sometimes. So it's always in the back of your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, look, I just thought we'd do a quick video today, just a little bit of insight on the pros and cons of doing something like this, I suppose. I
think the message is you can do it, right?
Yeah.
The parts are still out there. There are people that can,
true. Yep.
clean up the bumper bars, clean up the wheel trims, do all the stuff that, we can talk about later. But all those things are options, right? And you can make a car, bring it back to what it looked like when it first ran out of the showroom.
Rescue it. I mean, there's a lot of fun in actually spending time rescuing a car that deserves to be rescued. I think this one deserved to be rescued, and like I've kept it pretty much stock standard. But the one thing that I actually change for my benefit, I put a cassette player back into it. Don't laugh.
I am gonna laugh.
I love the 80s. I love the 80s music. I got my old 80s tapes.
I'm testament to that. Every time I get in a car, you got the 80s channel on.
I know, it's great. But having a cassette player in a car these days, like, you can't find them. Like, this is a genuine BMW cassette player. Fits right in.
You can't find them. Wow, how surprising.
I know. All right, okay. But you know what? Like, if you've got kids in the back, they're the wife's having a go at you. They're screaming their heads off and all that. You just want a time warp back, don't you? That's what I feel like. Anyway, so I go back to the 80s and I put my 80s tapes in, and I love it. I mean, this car just feels like I'm back in the grand old days.
I think it's quite special in rescuing the car. Quite often is bringing it back to its factory spec, right, and not butchering it too much with because there's a temptation to do that, and I get it, but I actually think it's much better just to go the standard features like it looked from start, because there was a reason it was done well. Most cars were done pretty well out of the factory, right?
And that's what happens with a lot of cars too. Exactly that. The second owner generally, or the third owner, the cars get cheaper. They start modifying them. Finding an original car these days is pretty hard to do, and that's why I think 80s, 90s cars, because we're just on the cusp of everyone going electric and things like that. Finding a really good 80s, 90s car that hasn't been molested or anything like that is going to be harder and harder. So, I think if you're out there and you're thinking about a cheaper toy or something like that, why don't you look at something from the 80s and 90s? They're only going to go up in value, so so that's really good.
Very good.
Anyway, want to say anything else?
No, just well done. Well rescued.
All right then. Just want to say thanks very much for watching.
Yep.
And we'll check you next time.
Okay. See you, everyone.
Bye.